Verse 31. And the house of Yasharal called its name manna. Of course, we know, manna came down. They ate this manna, and it was like white coriander seed, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. My wife says everything, she said, I bet everything that we need, every healthy nutrient we need for our bodies is in this manna. And she is right. We definitely could use some manna right now because of the food that we've been eating. Verse 32. Then Moshe said, this is the thing which Yahuwah has commanded. Remember, he's doing everything with a command. Our people don't understand. The Most High does everything with a command. Noah, build that ship. Build that boat. Noah, that was the commandment. He told Abraham to come from among your father's house. A commandment. He always do things with a commandment. We don't know and study scripture, so we don't understand when he give a commandment and the people do it. We don't understand how it works together and how he delivers his people with a commandment. The Most High not bringing no ships to come pick you up. Stand still, do nothing. Fill an omer with it, to be kept for your generations. They was told to keep this manna, and of course they kept manna inside the ark of the covenant, that they may see the bread which I fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you out of the land of Egypt. This is to be kept before them. We have this thing about forgetting, and the Most High wanted us to remember. Remember how I rained manna for you down when you were in the wilderness. He's telling us this because it's going to happen again. And we're going to see this. Verse 35. And the children of Yasharal ate manna for 40 years until they came to an inhabited land. They ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. We will see in scripture manna coming down again. Exodus 18:5, showing Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife to Moshe in the wilderness, where he was encamped at the mountain of the Most High. We understand the book of Jubilees tells us these 4 Kadosh places on earth, and one of them is this mountain that's in the wilderness. The Most High brought out a message before, meeting at the mountain. There will be a meeting at this mountain. This is when the Most High will come back down to give commandments to his people. The people will have to keep and do these commandments. Leviticus 7 and verse 38. Which Yahuwah commanded Moshe on Mount Sinai, on the day when he commanded the children of Yasharal to offer their offerings to Yahuwah in the wilderness of Sinai. So one of the things you have to be ready for in the wilderness, the people that's, the mind on going into the wilderness, we have to give an offering. This is what they done. They gave offerings in the wilderness. Remember, this is serving Yahuwah, doing what he commands. This is serving Yahuwah. And we don't know what serving Yahuwah means. Deuteronomy 2 and 7. For Yahuwah, your mighty one, has baraked you in all the work of your hand. He's going to barak you or curse you according to the work of your hand, according to what you do. He knows you're intruding through the great wilderness. This is a point that you must realize. This wilderness, according to scripture, is a great wilderness. You're going to look at this wilderness when you get to the edge, and you're going to shake your head and say, forget this, and want to turn around and go back, because it's a great wilderness. This word, great, you don't realize the greatness. It's large, it's huge in size, and you have to tackle this on foot. But we have to trust the Most High. This is a testing time. This is a time to make the people Kadosh. And this is one of the things, this is one of the reasons we must go through the wilderness. And this is one of the reasons why we have to be prepared and ready for this wilderness journey. These 40 years, Yahuwah, your Elohim has been with you. You have lacked nothing. So the 40 years he was with them, they had everything and lacked nothing. And we will see also, we will have to know and understand the time that we will be in the wilderness, the Most High will be with us and make sure we don't lack anything. Deuteronomy 8:2. And you shall remember that Yahuwah, your Lord, led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness. See, remember, we have to remember these things. We can't look at this and say, oh, this was for our forefathers. They did it. We're not going to have to do it. We're just going to automatically snap your finger, presto, magic, when we in Shamayim. We're not going through this. This is the rapture doctrine. This is the spaceship doctrine. This is all these other crazy doctrines. This is a do-nothing doctrine. If it's a do-nothing doctrine, you're not serving the Most High. You're not listening to His command. The Most High command is just that. It's a command that's asking for your actions. It's a commandment demanding your actions. This is what a command is. And when you don't heed His command, this is what we call a rebellious person. And this is iniquity. We know that the scripture says what transgression is. Sin, transgression against the law. We know the law is His word. When you transgress His word, this is what the first man did in the garden. He transgressed the command. And once he did that, you see, you're in trouble. You are in trouble. To do nothing, you're just like the first man. You're in trouble. So he led the people 40 years in the wilderness to humble you and test you. You see, we brought this out before. This is what you have to be ready for when it comes to the wilderness. Don't think you're not going to be humble. And we, of all people, need to be humble. Some camp leader done told you, you're the people of the book. Your forefathers, the people of the book. And then we get proud. Here we go. We take on the same ruach as our forefathers, this rebellious ruach, this prideful ruach, this ruach that wants to be in front and control and on top and braggadocious. This is what happens. So we lift ourselves up. Then we give ourselves titles. We give ourselves all of these things. We dress ourselves. We clothe ourselves. We make ourselves look as royalty as we can. And then you go into the wilderness to be humble. This is a very important part of going into the wilderness. Our people need to be humble because we're high-minded. I had the challenge on the book of Revelation. Very simple challenge. And here's a comment. And I knew they would come. Oh, I can debunk this video. That's high-minded. All they have to do is put the scripture. If they can do it, they do it. But they can't. And see, so this person is arrogant. To even make that comment is arrogant. Oh, I can debunk this. I would, but I'm not going to. But I can if I want to. See, this person needs to be humble. You will be one of the first one in the wilderness to get cut off with this attitude. And test you to know what was in your heart. We have evil in our hearts. This is what's in our hearts. And the Most High knows it. And He put us in this wilderness and caused situations to happen to us. Watch some of the stuff I'm going to bring out what's in the wilderness and see how some of you going to act. You might say, I never seen this in scripture before. And if you haven't studied the Torah, because see, most of these scriptures coming out of the Torah. If you hadn't studied this wilderness journey, which I hope you have, then there's a lot of things going to be new to you. So He see what was in our heart, whether we would keep His commands or not. This thing is about keeping His commands or not. I told you, we're being demanded to keep His commands. This is something that requires your actions. These teachers that's doing nothing and their leaders that's doing nothing. And there's a new thing going around. I'm going to touch on it. They're saying, where is your work? Where is your work? Listen, they're trying to make people feel bad. And once again, it's not about, the Most High ain't going to be saying, where is your work? He going to be looking at your actions. Did you honor His word? Did you heed His command? So these people out in the street trying to get people to open their eyes to they're the true people of the book. And they're thinking that's the work. But I'm going to touch on that later. Deuteronomy 8:15. Who led you through that great and terrible wilderness? Yes, I remember the first time I read this, it hit me. This wilderness is great and terrible. You're going to look and want to turn around and go back. So we have to be ready for this. The Most High said you have to be ready for the wilderness. Get my people ready for the wilderness. When I heard that word spoken, it dropped on me. It sat on me heavy. I said, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. These people are not ready. People within the borders are not ready. I know this. People outside the borders is not ready. He said, get my people ready for the wilderness because they are not ready. Watch this. Make sure you understand. This wilderness is great and terrible. When it says terrible, it means terrible. I went and looked at it and tried to find a mistranslation, but it's not. It's terrible. In which were fiery serpents. You see? Fiery. Fiery means these serpents poisoned. Yeah, you got it. Poisoned serpents in the wilderness? Yes, and scorpions. And scorpions. If you haven't studied this in the scripture, if this is new to you, if you didn't know serpents and scorpions going to be in the wilderness, you have not been studying. Once again, our people are not ready for the wilderness. So the Most High said, make sure you understand. This wilderness is great and terrible. There will be fiery serpents and scorpions in a thirsty land, no water, where there is no water. Who brought water for you out of a flinty rock? Why do you think he brought water out of a rock? There's no water in this wilderness. And the Most High is going to have to bring water to the people. I hope this video is preparing some of you to change your thinking, to get ready for this wilderness. Here we go. Deuteronomy 9:7. We're being reminded. Remember, do not forget how you provoked Yahuwah, your mighty one, to wrath in the wilderness. Look, our forefathers did it. We're one. You got that yet? We are one. When they did it, we did it. My family understands this. My family understands. If I mess up, they mess up. They be looking at me and I tell them, you better keep your prayers before the Most High about me. They look at me like, all right. You know what happened to the man that buried that long Babylonian garment they was told to destroy? He buried it under his tent. They killed him and his family, his wife and children. Wait a minute. They didn't have anything to do with this. Remember, we're one. Remember that we're one. Don't ever forget we're one. It says, do not forget how you provoked Yahuwah, your Elohim, to wrath in the wilderness. For the day that you departed, watch this. The day you departed from the land of Egypt until you came to this place, you have been rebellious against Yahuwah. Here we are today. We're in the land of captivity, scattered in all the world, in the lands of our captivity, away from the Kadosh place. And we are rebellious against the Most High. And we come out of these places, come within the borders, and we still are rebellious. It is unbelievable. What the heck did you come into the borders for if you're going to be rebellious? Stay on the outside. You're going to get cut off. You're coming here to get cut off. And we're going to see this. We're going to see this in scripture. This is not something I can't just say and there's no scripture to back it up. You're going to get cut off. If I was coming here with the mindset of being rebellious, I could have stayed in Babylon. That was a lot of work. And I know what these rebellious people had to go through to get here because I went through it. It was a lot of work. It took months. It took months to get here. And it was a lot of work that had to be done. No way I'm doing all of this knowing I'm rebellious, fleeing on the Shabbat. Look at that. I told you, leaving Babylon rebellious, fleeing on the Shabbat.